Ladies and gentlemen, the IWS Women's Champion, and also she's going to be featured on Ring of Honor television next week. She had a match this past week. She's had a very busy few months. I'm very excited to welcome onto the show right now. Joining us is Katrina Creed. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I can indeed comment on Hindu squats. I am Indian. I do squat. It's a good intersection. So, so maybe I'm your gal. But again, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, wait a minute. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, I was going to say thanks for joining us this morning. Oh, okay. So we were talking about social media policy and getting fined. And like money is obviously going to deter you from, depending on how much you're making and how much you're getting fined and stuff. Like if you're going to fine me like $5 for tweeting, like, okay, fine. If you're going to tell me to do like 5 neck bridges because of my tweet, I'm done. I'm deleting the app. I'm not doing 5 neck bridges. Is there like a certain workout that'd be like, nope, I'm not tweeting anymore if you're going to make me do like whatever it might be, like 20 pistol squats?
I guess it depends on the amount, right? Burpees definitely suck. But I could do like 5, 10, maybe 20 in a row, depending, right? But man, if we're talking like 50 and I have to keep going, I mean, I'd try, but there's no physical way I could do it. Like my body would just give up before I got to that point for sure. So probably burpees, probably 50. Yeah.
Burpees are awful. Absolutely awful. I'm with you. All right, go ahead, Joel.
So the last time you and I were on screen, Katrina, you and I were playing Mario Kart for the Switch. Have you gotten any better at that game?
I think that might have been the last time I played it, to be honest. So no, I have not. Have you?
I mean, I sat back the other night and I played, and I'm still good.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, not as good as Viviani, who was beating the shit out of all of us, but at least
I gotta say he is a pro at that for sure.
Can you punch Joel Pearl in the face for this line of questioning?
I think virtually. I'm like aiming it in my direction, and for me, I got him in the face virtually. So I think that's the best I could do right now.
Just next time you see him, just punch him. You'd be. I don't know if you'd be surprised at how many people like want to beat up Joel Pearl, but there's a lot of people who are on the Joel Pearl who want to beat him up. Yeah, very unlikely fella.
Okay, yeah, I'll just add it to my list. Next time I see Joel Pearl, punch him in the face. Got it.
Well, listen, you're getting booked everywhere. We got to get you up to Toronto because that's the least we could do out of all of this. Let's jump right in. This past Tuesday at the Ring of Honor tapings, you were able to appear there. You had a match against Legit Layla Hirsch. Talk to me about that experience. We're going to talk about the Ring of Honor and the AEW experience.
Yeah. It was, by the way, let me preface this. My cats are kind of going everywhere. So if you hear them or see them, just so you know. Okay. But it was obviously just incredible. I had previously been recruited to do extra work for AEW in June for 2 days that they were there for Dynamite and Collision. And just that experience was great, just being there. So I was just happy to be there, to be honest. I was like, cool, even if I'm just chilling, it's great. If I get a match, of course, that would be stellar. But I was just so happy to be there. Everyone's so nice. So when you never know if you're going to get a match or not. You don't want to go in with expectations and then get disappointed. So I was just going in there to enjoy everything. And then I think about like 2 hours before I was supposed to do the match, I was told I was selected to do a match, which was crazy. And then I was told to go find Layla, right? So she was like, I think around makeup. So I went to go see her. And we came up with a match, and by the time we were done with it, because she was like going in and out doing makeup, obviously she's very busy. By the time we had come up with it, we had maybe 30-40 minutes left before we're supposed to go out, right? And it wasn't a complicated match, but of course I want to make a good impression. I'm freaking the hell out. Like, of course. She was super, super giving, you know. I thought it'd be maybe more of like just a squash match. Obviously she'd get more over, makes sense. I'm there to enhance her, right? You know, she's the focal point of the match. But she was still just so sweet, so giving, really just super receptive to like my ideas and everything that I could do. So it was really just super, super nice to work with her. And then going out was, I was definitely super nervous. So like normally my cardio is pretty good, but after 2 bumps, I was pretty gassed. because I think I was just like, my breathing was like not regulated. So I was just like, oh my God, just breathe, dude, you're good. And it was great. The crowd that was there was like chanting my name, which I wasn't expecting, but it definitely helped to like temper my emotions a bit, because it definitely made me less nervous and a bit more comfortable. So thank them for that. That really helped. But yeah, no, it went over really well. She was happy with it. The agents were happy with it. I asked for critiques. They said maybe a bit more fight back in the heat, but they were happy with it otherwise. So I was just so thrilled. I was really, really happy. Daddy Magic was back there. He was like my first trainer, really. And he saw that I was like freaking the hell out. So he would come periodically and be like, you got this, kid. Don't worry, you're good. And it definitely helped, because I was like, my brain was short circuiting before the match. But yeah, it was just, I was so happy and just so grateful for the opportunity for sure.
Okay, I want to know more about training with Daddy Magic, because he's one of the most entertaining men I've ever watched on television. So what is it like to learn from him?
So pretty much everything you see on TV is more or less him. Obviously, not to that extent. He's not like that all the time. But you know how there's this saying in wrestling, you want your gimmick to be like pretty much your personality, but dialed up to like 10 or 11. And yeah, that's definitely, he took that to heart. He's really just as funny in real life, just as charismatic. He's really one of the funniest guys I've ever met in my life, like for real. So training with him, like I think it was my first 6 months or so of training, maybe a bit less, was mostly with him before he got signed to the WWE and then moved to Orlando. And he's very intense as a coach, very much tough love type of mentality. But I think that's one of the better ways to do it, you know? So he's very honest. He'll straight up tell you if something looks like shit, which I appreciate. You know, at first, when you're starting off, you're like, oh, you take it to heart. You're like, damn, that sucks to hear. But you need to hear that to know what you're doing well or not. And then when you do something good, he'll highlight that too. So you know he's not bullshitting, you know? It's like he's calling it as it is. So when you do something you're good, you're like, okay, he actually means it. That means I'm on the right track. But classes were just hilarious with him, as you can imagine.
You're the IWS Women's Champion. You defeated Melanie Havoc at Hardcore Heat back in August. I don't know if people know this or if this played into the story, but Melanie was literally on the cusp of 1 year as champion, and you played spoiler to that. What was that like, knowing that you were the reason that Melanie Havoc didn't make it to 1 full year as champion?
I honestly wasn't thinking about it until after the fact. Like, I knew she had the championship for about a year, and it wasn't until I went on Cage Match where I saw it was like 364 days. I was like, oh. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Like, but you know, she didn't really bring it up. She was just happy that she had it for about a year. You know, that's her claim to it, which is still really substantial for sure to have that championship. I still feel kind of bad, but she was very, very sweet about everything, super graceful, and again, really giving. She's a really nice girl. So the transition was super easy. She was very supportive and encouraging when she gave me the belt. So that was really nice.
Being part of IWS, and now Lufisto has announced Women's Wrestling Syndicate. How much do you know about that? Are you going to be part of that? And just any further details on that you may know about?
Yeah, so Lufisto's excellent. I really, really love her. She's really just a huge support in women's wrestling here. And so, yeah, I will be a part of it, as well as many other girls who are on the local scene around here. And I don't know how many details I can give out other than what she said, because obviously she's going to give press releases in the future. So I don't want to divulge too many details. But yeah, it's an offshoot of IWS, I guess a sister company. The way we're looking at it right now is the first show, which will happen in a few months. There's going to be kind of like a soft launch. So it's going to take place at our dojo, and it's going to be a lot more intimate in that sense. People are going to be kind of more reminiscent of like old IWS shows where people are around the ring, kind of like slapping, you know, the apron and stuff like that all around. It was that idea was also partly inspired by this show that we all did. It was a women's wrestling show for the release of Syndicate, which is a French documentary on some women wrestlers here, namely Lou Farrell, Lufisto as well, and Azael. And after the premiere of the movie, there was this little like wrestling show that we did that I was a part of as well. It was this amazing, intimate show where, again, people were just like all like cornered around the ring. It was super intimate and great. So she had the idea of just kind of recreating that ambiance, which was stellar at this soft launch. And then afterwards, they're pretty much going to be running the shows like in Studio TD, which is where we run the IWS shows as well. And she's looking to also bring in outside talent as well. So it's not just going to be limited to the women's wrestler on like the Quebec and Ontario scene, although right now it's mostly the Quebecois scene. But she's going to expand into eventually the Ontario scene, probably some girls from the States too, which will be really great. It's going to be really fun to be able to work new girls for sure. As much as I love working, the girls in our scene, there's only so many times you can work someone where eventually you want to obviously wrestle someone new. It's a sentiment we all share. We love each other, but like, so it'll be great to for sure just be able to wrestle other girls too.
I make this reference often, I should say. There are only so many times I can watch Jody Threat and Sleazy Sparks go one-on-one. That's the Ontario Toronto equivalent of doing that in Montreal. Speaking of which, in IWS, Uneffin Sanctioned, the 25th anniversary show is going to be March 2nd, 2024. Who does Katrina Creed want to face? It could be past or present because IWS has a rich history, but like, who are you after?
Man, I would, if I could, I'd probably get, oh my God, what a match this would be. My body would be just in so much pain the next day, but like Masha Slamovich, if I could. I think she's great. She has such a good intensity. She's so vicious and brutal, and I just love her style and intensity. And I would just love to have a match with her if I could. If not, I've always had a lot of respect for Jody Threat as well. For the same reason, she has this great intensity to her. Like, I just love her moveset, and everything about her is so great. I feel like we'd have a pretty fucked up match in a good way. Maybe not for my body, but in a good way in other senses. So yeah, I mean, those are two people. There's other people as well, but off the top of my head, those two for sure.
Working for IWS, any good crazy effing Manny PCP crazy effing Manny stories? Because he is he's full of stories himself. So do you have any stories working with him?
Gosh, not necessarily like working directly with him. I have some more like heartwarming stories, believe it or not, with Manny. He's actually been super protective. Yeah, super protective of his students and stuff, believe it or not. But if we're sticking to more like fucked up stories, and now that we brought up Uneffin Sanctioned, I think I should bring this one up because it's related to last year's show. I'm not sure if people are aware, maybe some are, but at last year's Uneffin Sanctioned, there was the GCW IWS versus IWS show. And the main event was, Manny was involved, and it was a 3 versus 3, and Nick Gage was one of the guys who was in there. I believe it was Nick Gage who did this, which makes sense, but it was obviously a super fucked up match with light tubes and just crazy, crazy bumps. And at some point, I think it was Nick Gage, I could be wrong, he took a light tube and just smashed it, over Manny's head. But accidents do happen sometimes. And in the process, I think he sliced off like part of Manny's ear. So that was like legit. And so Manny, I think he might have been partly concussed too. Like, I've definitely seen Manny concussed a couple times. I think at Unsanctioned, and I'm pretty sure it was this one. But again, it's happened a few times. Pretty sure that was the one he was also concussed at. Poor Manny is just there with like his ear hanging off after the show, and we're all celebrating. He's bleeding everywhere, and we like a lot of us went to like party after, and poor Manny just had to go to the hospital and get his ear like attached. So they saved the ear. He can fully hear. His ear's there. Everything's good. But that's something off the top of my head. There's for sure probably so many fucked up Manny stories otherwise, but yeah.
He told that story on another show that I do, and he just got taken to the hospital, and he's like, yeah, Kevin Owens like texted me right after that. It's like, Manny, I saw your ear got cut. Are you okay? He's like, yeah, just another day. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, just another day in the life of PCP Manny, but
Katrina, we play a game here called Partner Promo or Punch in the Face. You pick, I've got 3 names for you. You're going to pick whether you are a tag team partner to them, if you have a promo off in the ring, or if you punch them in the face one-on-one. Here we go.
Okay.
Casanova Productions edition. Shane Hawk, Matt Viviani, JT producer. Who are you going to partner, promo, and punch in the face?
Oh God. Okay. Punch in the face, Matt Viviani. Sorry. Promo, Giordano, and partner with, of course, Andrew, because Andrew's just the best. And he's like, I love Andrew. He's the best coach, best support in the world. I seriously wouldn't be here where I am without him. I almost feel like I'm partnering with him, like mentally in a way, because he helps me out so much, and I'm always asking him so many questions that he's always kind of in my corner anyway. You know what I mean? So for sure.
Yeah, he's a very special guy. We've had him around on our show a few times. Can't say a negative thing about Shane Hawk, about Andrew.
Yeah, he's great. He's
that was gonna be my last question. Is could you say something negative about Shane Hawk? Because there's always these nice people. Spencer Love, one of the nicest people in the world. Andrew, Shane Hawk, one of the nicest people in the world. Let's see, like, is there anything you could say negative about them?
I think I'd only ever say negative things because we're joking around. So we often insult each other, but obviously we're kidding. And that's the only negative thing I could ever say. And it's only out of love, So I really couldn't, Andrew is really, I think, everything a coach should be. And I think at the IWS, most of us realize how lucky we are to have a coach like Andrew, because not only is he just a really great wrestler and really understands how the industry works and guides us through that, and how to construct a match and ring psychology and where to put in moves when it makes sense, and also just how to be a good coach and a supportive coach. Not only that, he's just always there for us no matter what. Like, literally, I don't think I've ever asked a question that's gone unanswered, and I've asked fucking ridiculous shit to Andrew at all hours of the day, being like, I don't know how to approach the situation. I don't know how to talk to this guy this way. What should I do in this situation? Like, everything you could think of, I've asked him. And honestly, usually within a minute or two, he's answered it. It's not even like there's a delay. He'll usually answer it right away. And he's just always been so supportive of me and everyone else. And he's just everything a coach should be, like, as a person and as an actual coach. So I can never say enough good things about him, for real.
Before we let you go, go ahead.
No, I was going to put over Shane Hawk. He's been so kind to us coming on the show and just gracious with his time and everything. Yes, we don't like saying mean things about people, but sometimes you got to say mean things out of love, Out of love, you got to say mean things about people.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely our relationship.
Yeah. Before we let you go and let you plug everything, usually when Andrew's on the show, he says something that gets the internet and his fellow compatriots riled up.
Okay.
He's given us a few hot takes that have gotten some play throughout the indies.
Okay.
Anything you want to say to the independent wrestlers out there that would get you some notoriety?
Oh God. I don't know if I'm big enough to put myself in that position yet. Maybe in a few years if I build more of a following. Maybe, but I'm not falling for that one just yet. So no. I'm gonna not say anything on that one.
Do they have water at the IWS shows?
Sometimes, but not always. So it's something we have to go for the tap, which I think there's so much shit, people like running around, and there's so many things going on, and everyone's always stressed to the gills. That it's something that should be thought about, but we're just always running around with our heads cut off. But I guess that is maybe the controversial thing. Don't kill me, Maddie. I'm sorry, but maybe that's it. Yeah.
Katrina, we want to thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Go ahead, plug your stuff. Tell people where they can find you and what you got going on.
Well, thank you so much for having me. But yeah, you could find me on Twitter at Katrina Creed, which you can see down there right below my name. Otherwise, on Instagram, you could follow me at cat.creed. And yeah, those are my socials. If not, Facebook, Nancy. That's me as well. So yeah, I thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure and so much fun talking to y'all.
It's been a blast. Thank you for joining us. I said this offline that chatting with you on this stage has been something I've wanted to do since we first met. And it's great that this is an opportunity for us to do it and talk about a big Ring of Honor appearance that you had. So this is great. Congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing more from you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Thank you, Katrina. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.